So we all know and love the Gameboy Advance SP with its clamshell design. Nice and convenient, you can fold that screen away, slip it in your pocket. You know you're not going to damage the screen or the buttons. And we haven't really seen many handhelds have that clamshell design. Well, in this video, we're going to be looking at the Anbernic RG35xx SP. So, without further delay, let's dive in. So before we kick things off, I just want to give a massive shout out to Litnxt for sending this device for free for review. And if you don't know who Litnxt are, they're basically a seller of kind of emulation and retro handhelds. As always, there's going to be a link in the description, and as you can see on the screen behind me, it's going to scroll through a few products. So as you guys know, I like to kick things off with an unboxing. So let's do that next, and we'll take a quick tour around the device before we look at specifications and sort of how powerful is this device and what systems it can emulate. So no surprises here. Most of the Anbernic devices come in this plain white box with an outline of the device on the front, and then on the side it lets you know that we've gone for the blue transparent one. So as we open it up, we can see that SD card that Litnxt sent with this device, which is 128 gigabytes. Next we have some foam, and then the device itself in a bag. We'll put that to a side for a moment because let's see what else you get in here. Now you do get some instructions, and if you do want to read these instructions, go ahead, but I never read instructions, so let's get rid of that. Next, you have a screen protector, which I found a little bit strange because this is a clamshell design after all, and you're going to close it up when you're not using it. But it's extra protection, I guess, and it does come free with it. Now the last thing you're going to get is a USB cable. Now I do believe, and I know Gears and Tech, shout out to Gears and Tech, he did try this cable and it doesn't do data. I don't think many of the cables do data that come with Anbernic devices. It's just a USB to USB-C cable that's purely used for charging the device. So let's have a look at the device itself, and it looks really cool in this transparent blue. Unfortunately, they didn't have an atomic purple, but what can you do? So on the right side, we have a reset button and a power button. On the top of the device, obviously we've got the shoulder buttons, we've got that USB-C charging port, and then a mini HDMI port. On the left side, we have the volume up and down, and at the bottom of the device, a 3.5mm headphone jack, then SD card slot 1 and SD card slot 2. So let's go ahead and put that extra SD card, because it did already have one in the first slot that has all the firmware on it. So as we open the device up, we can see we've got the screen on the top part, and then on the bottom we've got all the buttons, the D-pad, A, B, X, Y, we've got a memory button, and then we've got the start and select. Now this device feels really nice in the hand, and it's pretty much the same dimensions as the Gameboy Advance SP. Also the hinge is really nice, so the build quality on this is really good. So let's have a quick look at the specs. The screen is a 3.5-inch IPS full viewing angle OCA full lamination 640 by 480. The CPU is the H700 quad-core ARM Cortex-A53 at 1.5 GHz. The GPU is a dual-core Mali G31 MP2, and it's got 1 GB of LPDDR4. The storage is a 64 GB micro SD card, and that comes as standard even if you opt for one without the 128 or 256 gig card. The system it runs on is Linux, and as far as connectivity, it's got 2.4 and 5 GHz Wi-Fi, and that's the 802.11a, B, G, N and AC band. It's got Bluetooth 4.2 but it only works with Bluetooth controllers. And of course, as I said before, it's got them dual SD card slots and they support up to 512 gigabytes, and the battery is 3,300 milliamp hours, lasting for approximately 8 hours. So let's quickly touch on the systems that it supports. Now of course it does PlayStation Portal, Dreamcast, N64 and pretty much everything before it. So there's like over 30 systems that this device can emulate, which is going to be more than enough to keep you entertained. So after doing the unboxing, a quick tour of the device and then looking at the specs and what sort of systems you should be able to emulate on it, let's take a look at the device a little closer. Let's look at the UI, see how the buttons feel, and then of course let's try out some games and see what's pre-installed in this 128GB version that Litnxt provided. Now before we do anything else, let's have a quick listen to see what those buttons sounds like and see if it's got any rattle. So the first thing I noticed that the screen is really bright and crisp on this device. The detail is nice and sharp, and for a device at this price point you couldn't really ask for more. So as we're looking at the UI, it's pretty simple. You've got two options at the start, how you want the games and systems to be displayed, and it also asks you want to use SD card 1 or SD card 2. Now like most devices, you'll have history, you'll have search, and you'll have your favourites section. Of course, you've also got settings, and then you've got app center, and in the settings, you've pretty much got the basic stuff. Let's have a quick look at the systems that are already pre-installed and it has ROMs for. So if we go into RA games and then go to SD card 2, we've got PSP, OpenBar, Dreamcast, PS, which is PlayStation, Neo Geo, then CPS 1, 2 and 3. On the next page we've got FB Neo, Homebrew, MAME, VA Arcade, I'm not too sure what that is, VB Atari 2600, Poke and Pico. Then we've got Game Watch, Game Boy Advance, NES, Famicom, Super Famicom, SNES, Master System, Sega 32X, Mega Drive, CD and Mega Drive, Game Gear, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, PCE, Atomis Wave, MSX, WonderSwan and NGPC, Naomi, and then it's got some ports on it as well.
All records are made to be broken. Versus SNK2.
Now even though this device only has one speaker, it is actually really loud. The sound quality can be a little bit tinny, but it does the job and it's more than loud enough so you can hear it. You're probably better off using headphones if you're in a crowded area. So as you might have seen, this is Capcom versus SNK2. And it's actually a Dreamcast game. So let's have a quick go, see what the performance is like. We've got the FPS counter at the top right, and it does stay at pretty much solid 60.
This is gonna be a match to remember. Fight!
Now as I said before, this device does have HDMI out. So let's connect it up to the capture card to get some more footage. So now we're using the HDMI out, it looks a lot nicer. And this game is Gran Turismo on the original PlayStation. Now, unfortunately, with games like this and the next couple of games I'm going to show you, I can't have the audio of the game, so I've just replaced it with some music in the background, because due to copyright, I just can't show it. Now, if you look at the top right, we're getting 60 FPS. So again, you're not going to have any problems playing PlayStation games on this Anbernic RG35xx SP. So next I thought we'd look at something a little bit older. So this is Sonic CD on the Mega CD. And as you can see, it's put the borders on the left and right to fit the aspect ratio properly. And again, the FPS, no surprise here, it's a constant 60 FPS. So pretty much all the older games are not going to be an issue at all. So let's play something a little bit newer. So we've moved on over to the PSP with Burnout Revenge. And as you can see, although we don't have an FPS counter, again, this is running at a solid 60 FPS. 90% of PSP games are going to run absolutely fine on this device. So as you can see, it's quite a powerful little device at a really good price point. And I actually really like that clamshell design. But as you guys know, I don't keep these devices for myself. What I like to do is give them away to one of my Patreons. So if you didn't know, I've got an official Alien Gaming Patreon. I'll put a link in the description below. And for $5 a month, you can join the Patreon and take advantage of all the benefits that come with it. So all my Patreons get inside information on what videos are coming next, and they get access to a private Discord where I can give them help and support, and we can talk about videos, modding, pretty much anything we like. Now the Discord is not open to the public, so unfortunately only Patreons get access, because the last time I had a free-for-all on a Discord, it got shut down. The next thing they get access to, of course, is the giveaways. Now, we've given away loads of stuff in the past. We've done a live stream a couple of days ago where Michael won the Litnxt Game Changer for the Nintendo Switch. And then 2 weeks before that, we gave away the Anbernic RG35M, a really powerful and compact metal-shelled Android device that plays everything up to PS2 and GameCube. Now the winner of that, Cisco, is really enjoying that device. So again, congrats to you, Cisco, and congrats to you, Michael, for winning the Litnxt Game Changer. It's now in the post and it's on its way to you. So of course, we'll also be giving away this Anbernic RG35xx SP to one of my Patreons, and we'll do the live draw on the live stream / podcast on the 28th of July. So you've got plenty of time if you want to enter. Now how you enter is you just join the Patreon, and then you'll see a post on there at some point within the next week basically saying if you want to enter this giveaway, just drop a comment below. That's all you need to do, and then on the 28th of July I will draw the winner live on the podcast streamed on YouTube on a Sunday at 8 PM UK time. And then once a winner's been chosen, all they need to do is give me their shipping info and I'll get that device sent straight out to them. They don't pay any extra fees, they don't pay for shipping, I cover everything. I just get their address, pop it in the post and send it straight to them. So going back to the device itself, what's my overall thoughts and feelings? Now, I've had loads of devices from Litnxt and ones I've bought myself, and I actually really like this. One of my favourite consoles to play on at the moment is my Gameboy Color, and I've actually reshelled it and put an OLED screen on it. So I'm going to do a video, hopefully the end of this week or next week, on how that process went and how good that OLED screen looks. But apart from that, I really enjoy playing all the old retro stuff. And the clamshell design is a really nice form factor to then just close it up and chuck it in your pocket. We've seen the Steam Deck, we've seen the Legion Go and the ROG Ally. They're really powerful devices, but compared to this, they're massive. And if you only want to play some retro stuff, This will go in your pocket, the Steam Deck won't. Now the great thing with these Anbernic devices, there's not really much setup to do. I just unboxed it, I turned it on, and then I could just go through the menu, select games and start playing. That's one of the good things about getting an SD card preloaded from Litnxt. Of course, you can buy the device on its own, use your own SD card if you've got a massive ROM collection yourself, and then you can just add all that stuff yourself. Of course, there is going to be games on there that you'll probably never play or you're not interested in, but you can always delete those and add your own games. So I'm going to end the video here, but you know what to do if you enjoy my content. Hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and then don't forget to tinkle that bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I'm JP, you've been watching Alien Gaming, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.